1986 Schwinn High Sierra. This is the early era of mass-produced mountain bikes by major brands. The bike was manufactured by Giant in Japan, I believe, even though it's branded as a Schwinn. Fairly high-end components on this bike, or at least interesting components. Slingshot stem, Suntour thummy shifters, friction shifters, non-indexed. Rollercam brakes, which I've been very, very impressed with. Sealed bearing hubs. Bear trap pedals. And a Suntour group set. I pulled this bike apart and gave it a full overhaul. It shows some signs of its age. There's some chipped paint here and there. But overall, it cleaned up really nice. There was some damage to the front fork. The steer tube was bent, and I did my best to correct that. This bike currently has 26 by 1.5 tires, 1.5 inches wide. I believe it originally came with 2-inch wide tires or something close to that. The Rollercam brakes are a very interesting design. The best I can explain it is to think of this as a simple machine, as a wedge, and these as wheels rolling up the wedge. As they roll up the wedge, it pulls the brake pads against the rim. But the genius part is, in the beginning of your pull, it's a fairly high incline on the wedge as the wheels are rolling out of that radius. And then as they get to the secondary part, it's like less of an incline on the wedge, which equates to more power. And you can feel that as you pull on the brake lever. When it gets over that hump, the power drastically increases. And with just a little bit more effort on the brake lever, you can apply tremendous force on these brakes, and it's not too hard to even lock the wheel up. So, as you start your pull, the brake pads come in very quickly. And then after it gets out of that hump, brake pads move in slower, but with tremendous force. It's a very interesting design. They won't fit on standard brake bosses. These brake bosses are actually above the rim, whereas your cantilever or V-brake brake bosses would be mounted below your rim. I believe it's the same mounting point as a U-brake. I think you could probably put a U-brake in place of these, or put these on a bike that was designed for a U-brake. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that's the case. There was a big issue with chain slap with this bike, or maybe it's related actually to the group set. This Suntour XC derailleur is probably the culprit, but the chainstay here was very, very beat up, lots of paint missing. As you backpedal, which I can't do now because it's on a kickstand, but as you backpedal or stop pedaling, the chain would slap against the chainstay. So, as a solution, I took an old inner tube and sliced a strip out of an old inner tube and wrapped it around the chainstay, similar to how you would wrap handlebar tape. Looks like I got one section here I need to fix. But not only does that protect the paint, but it is so much quieter. That chain hitting the chainstay was very loud and very annoying. Putting that inner tube around the chainstay makes this a much quieter ride.